South Africa has entered a second wave of coronavirus infection. The pandemic in our country is now at its most devastating.
My biggest fear is to see myself burying my staff members.
A day doesn't go by without transporting a positive COVID patient.
The number of new infections,
I just told myself what I'm about to lose my family now. Maybe I'll die.
and the deaths have become far higher.
And those numbers are now becoming names. And those names are people that we know about.
Some people, they don't believe it is real. They say it's just a hoax up until they experience it. It is real.
Paramedics are responding to a suspected COVID-19 case in Lenasia, south of Johannesburg.
It affects you when you know you got it, and then you might give it to someone that you love, like someone who is closer to you. I'm not sure where did I get it, how did I get it, but one of my partners, she tested positive, and then I also tested positive.
The team received a call regarding a male patient that is having difficulty breathing.
Can I help you? Hello, sir. Listen to me. Hold your breath in. Take a deep breath and hold it in. I know it's difficult, but I'm trying to correct this. No? Try as much as you can. The cough. Because of the coffee. What are you using for coffee? And especially with a stable patient like this, you know, people, when they think they have corona, then they start with these anxiety attacks.
From there, we just wait for our control to say which hospital that will accept the patient.
If you go with us now, we take you straight to the clinic. They're going to put you in a special place. They do all the tests. They get to help you with the difficulty in breathing.
We just have to screen the patient to confirm from our side if it is COVID-related symptoms. Honestly, I don't think it is a hoax. It is real.
I believe has affected every individual in the whole world. I don't think it will ever be forgotten. I think this is the history. These are for COVID positive patients. Young adults are affected, elderly are affected, comorbidities are affected. Young adults, they die. Patient with no comorbidities, they die. Elderly patient, they die.
At Tembisa Hospital, near the nation's capital, Tshwane, head of internal medicine, Dr. Portia Ngwata, says fighting the second wave of COVID-19 has become a balancing act, fighting the pandemic while not risking livelihoods through overcrowding the facility.
The current number, they are scaring me. We currently sitting at a state that is between 1600 per day admission. That is over the capacity that we can accommodate.
The hospital recorded an estimated 11,000 infections during the first wave, while the second wave infections rose to an estimated 15,000. Outside the hospital, 2 additional temporary tents have been set up to deal with the excess influx of patients.
So we've got continuous assessment of our patients. They come, we assess, they're stable, then we vacate the space for the patients that are coming. Fatigue, I think, is our baseline. I personally haven't taken leave since 2020 until today. My staff, most of the time, the leave that they actually have, it's when they are sick. We are young doctors, we've got small children that they still need that time with their parents, and I'm trusting God that He will protect me as I'm going through what I'm going through.
This is my son. Yeah. I'm the mother and the father. You know, his father passed away. Yeah, he's just my everything. I just want him. He's doing matric this year, so I want him to have a better future, have a better life. So. I cried in my car while I was on duty, knowing that I've seen someone, but I did everything that I could as a nurse, and then realizing that the person's condition was not okay, and I'm the one who actually first treated the patient. You might feel a bit of pain. Let's put your blood back. We just treat them, give them love, because once they are there, they are depressed. Some of them wants to go home. Some of them, they don't understand why are they kept there in isolation since they don't know how this virus is contagious. Patients are like our families. We treat them equally, and whenever you lose your patient, you put yourself in that family's shoes. Since they cannot see their family members, it's very tough.
A COVID patient's condition worsens when the infection progresses to pneumonia or acute respiratory distress syndrome.
This patient has got severe ARDS. The outcome of COVID pneumonia with a severe ARDS have got a poor prognosis. This new variant, I think it's virulent and also spreading very fast. When you see that you are not winning, you try your best, and you try your best. I've resuscitated many COVID positive patients with severe ARDS that if needed to stop begging them, the saturation go down.
When you drop it to 5, it will be easy when you put, because you see when it's in line, when you drop it, it's going to start desaturation. And you must drop it until you can manage in the lowest one. If it's at like 1, then you can always like remove it.
You counsel the family while someone else is still begging, telling them that I've lost a battle. And you cry with the family. It's like, what is it that you can do to save this life? Patients have been on anticoagulation, patients have been on antibiotics, patients have been on early incubation. We've escalated the oxygen need, but you still lose the patient. You ask yourself, what is it that I would have done?
An increase in deaths puts an enormous strain on the hospital's mortuary. Tembisa Hospital experienced 126 deaths during the peak of the first wave, while that number went up to 132 during the peak of the second wave.
So with COVID, the number went up, like we had like 118 bodies, and of which the capacity that the mortuary has is 66. We are liaising with the forensic and pathology department. A plan is in process so that they're gonna bring mobile fridges for that part. Some people are passing away, and then some of them are relatives and neighbors, so it's very stressful. But then what can we do? Because we're community workers and we have to be here at the end of the day. Couldn't even sleep at night. And during that period, even my grandmother passed away here.
So where's the body? At Krugersdorp Hospital? Krugersdorp Netcare. Okay. And this patch is now. Beginning to fall now, it's beginning to fall now, the lumbar. It's a bit heavy now, it's a bit heavy. It's taking a toll on the also.
In Lenasia, south of Joburg, Abu Said and his team have been battling to keep up with excess COVID-19 deaths.
I think the difficulty for most people experiencing this COVID-19 pandemic is when you do get ill, when you go into hospital, you're alone. Unfortunately, when the numbers are up like this, no one visits you and you're not allowed to visit your loved one. And then it's been a long time for many of them where the loved ones are in hospital and afterwards the loved ones pass on.
Despite strict funeral regulations, mourners are often overcome with grief, and the society struggles to prevent mourners from taking over.
When they do pass on, the closure is difficult because people haven't seen their loved ones, haven't been with them in their last moments of their life. We relate to it and we see the people's pain. There's various incidents, like typical example when we talk of the funeral yesterday. A brother and sister attended the funeral alone with some family friends because the rest of their family were infected. And these two siblings held each other and they cried out, which broke our heart. And that's when we realized that we need to really be more strong for them and try and support them and make it easier for them.
The second wave's unprecedented deaths has caused a rapid increase in funerals.
So there was times when we'd perhaps do about 50 a month. Now it has gone up to 70 certain months. Certain months it also went up to 90. So it just depends on the month. And now with the second wave, we can definitely see an increase in numbers.
During the first wave also we noticed a lot of people were in the hospitals for a long period of time. Now with the second wave, within 4 days of people contacting the virus, people are passing on.
With hospitals struggling with capacity, Saeed says the community at large saw the need to go above and beyond just their funeral services.
I think our community response is phenomenal. People are always supporting us, people are praying for us. We've seen a lot of volunteers stepping up to the plate and coming out to assist us and trying to be frontline workers and making a difference.
So as SABRGC, we have an ambulance department and a burial department. With regard to the ambulance department, we got a whole lot of doctors involved and we started doing home-based treatment, supplying oxygen concentrators and having doctors to go out and assess patients at home.
The COVID-19 pandemic is also extremely close to Saeed's heart.
Unfortunately, during the pandemic, I also lost my father and his brother, and this was within 24 hours. So it's something that's really close to home, close to heart. So we understand the pain and difficulty people experience. And we put all these processes in place. Little did I realize that God put it out in there for me so that it would be comfort to me and my family.
Experts say South Africa has passed the second peak, with infections continuing to drop, and the arrival of the country's first batch of vaccines brings renewed hope. But frontline workers have seen this trend before and are gearing up for an inevitable third wave.
Coronavirus is an RNA. They mutate very fast. The variant that we're having now, we might have a new variant after this one. And it means that, from my understanding, we need to have a vaccine that covers different variants.
Because people have become more complacent. Personally, I feel a lot of anxiety. We don't know when we're going to hit the peak, how many it's going to be, how much the number is going to be.
To general population, they must take this virus very serious. It affects everyone. It affects more people that they get affected, which are healthcare workers, and people that are working with it every day. We need a conscious decision as a general population and to act accordingly to curb the virus spread.